money on me. Bitches better tie up their shoes if they ain't tripping with me. I don't give a fuck about views, nigga, they listen to me. Hate to call it feminine energy when they switching on me. Got my mind right, and they can't CP. Mind start mixing this shit just like a GC. Nigga, I remodel my kitchen off of my EP. Looking like a wizard with minds, but not from DC. Go and get your people, put some money on it. Wish I had $1 for every nigga that fronted on them. Beat drop, nigga, I'm dumping and going dummy on it. He don't stand a chance with me, hitter, I get the hunting for him. California into Hawaii, look at me stunting on him. Local Larry looking for leverage, nigga, that's nothing for him. My reach long, I'm Riddick Bowe. Money made with the counter off of the shoulder roll. It's P Jizzle, the top 10, the totem pole. Beanie Siegel, bully the booth, they all know it, dog. Don't ever think these other niggas fucking with me. Clean shot straight from the shooters, I leave them dusting for me.
Welcome. Supporting gaming. Kiesha, we having a listen. Kiesha, I figured it out. It's got to be on your end. Now I'm gonna try it again here. Can you hear me, Kiesha?
I can hear you.
Oh my goodness, what's good?
I don't.
Supporting gaming, what's good, bro? Listen, supporting gaming. We're doing the shy tonight, and tomorrow we'll do Raising Canaan. Just to get into everything, we tried to start the show earlier, and when I say it, like I'm a firm believer if that I don't believe really in accidents, sort of say. I do believe things happen. I do think that most things that happen, when we look at a standpoint of the accident mindset, I believe that there's a lesson and to learn in every situation, no matter what it is. You got to just weather the storm. So, a couple weeks ago, we tried to do the Shy review, and I was having so many computer problems, my screen wouldn't come on. I literally had to do a master reset. Then, tonight, we had issues. I mean, Dwayne was going somewhere, and he got home, and he literally got in the house and went straight to sleep.
I fell
And then
asleep.
me and Keisha had some technical difficulties with our end, which she couldn't hear me, which was crazy. So, the series finale to the Shy. Before we get into that, how y'all both doing though? How you doing, Keisha?
I'm okay. Can't
Great,
complain.
great. How you doing, Dwayne?
52.
52. 52, yeah, yeah.
Man, I was outside all day. I came in, took a quick shower, knew we had to do this thing. I said, let me sit on the couch for a second. Next thing I knew, it was 9 o'clock.
It comes at you fast, man.
Life
Uh,
comes
one of
at you fast.
one of the things me and you always talk about, Dwayne, with literally being the same age, is it's not so much that you can't hang out. It's the recovery. The
Yeah.
recovery is not the same anymore. And for you, you've had your time of rest. You're going into a very, very busy season. You'll be busy all the way until probably February. So
Yeah,
all
it's
I can tell
crazy.
you is buckle your chin strap, buddy.
Right.
So you guys, I watched it twice yesterday. So I watched the Shy season finale 3 times, and I had some very, very interesting thoughts at first watch, and I looked at it from a different perspective of the accumulation of 8 seasons. Um, the last two watches I did. I will say I did not like the season finale. I thought that bringing the actors back was nostalgic for the viewers, but it was a disappointment. They didn't seal the deal because you didn't allow them to share the moments. Definitely, when you understand that Alex Hibbert, who plays Kevin, literally was in every episode up until the time he left the show. Him and Jacob Lattimore, were the ones that was in every single episode until they left. I believe this season was really, really bad. I believe that this season, because she knew that it was the last season, I think it was forced. I think some of the writing was bad. I think some of the writing took her vision. I think that this particular episode was based off of The wedding scene alone, knowing some of the stuff behind the scenes and some of the bloggers that are affiliated with Lena, it was the celebration of 8 seasons. And to me, I understand how it could be hard or historic for what they did, but to me, they were more concerned with giving themselves a pat on the back than giving us a quality ending. It was more of 8 seasons. I've been on this historical run. I'm happy we've all evolved. This, that, and the third, and they acted that way. I believe the actors acted that way, and literally they didn't take a hold of the script that was given to them, and it was really bad. I think it was bad. I think all this, every person that I've seen that's caught up in this nostalgia of these three boys, I think they're being very disingenuous. I think they're not being honest because those three boys, other than being three young boys, have no similarities to Kevin, Jacob, and Papa, but a bicycle. Um, the dynamic of Kevin, the dynamic of Jacob, the dynamic of Papa was always unique. They were not bad kids. They were in private school. You know, these kids, they literally grew up. We seen them grow up before our eyes, and to me, they destroyed the show. They destroyed Darnell. They destroyed every episode. When you think about that, and I thought about this yesterday, and I was going to hit Dwayne immediately because I thought about it and it made me laugh because after talking to Dwayne and Keisha, and I'm going to let both of y'all go before I dog the mic, right? What the hell was the sense of Rosalind having them shoot the what you call and try to set Rashad and them up for the murder? You never showed Rosalind the whole season. So you mean to tell me Reg killed somebody for Rosalind, a witness, where she was trying to set up Trig and Rashad for what? Yeah, she killed Alicia, but for what? And you never showed her. Lot of left there, but anyway, I don't want to dog it. Keisha, you could go right ahead. Dwayne is here.
I mean, I feel like that there's people that's gonna like it from the nostalgia standpoint. Like, I was happy to see Kevin and Maisha and the mother and Dre. I was happy to see these people. But then I felt like why Kevin ain't talking? Why he didn't give the speech? Why was Rashad and Trig Emmett's best men? I mean, the kids really rolled for each other, and that includes Emmett. Like Papa been working for Emmett since probably he could work after they start working for Duda. Like I don't know. It's just like they have a different vision of what we watched for all these years. They say Ronnie's friends was there. Why? Why would they be at the wedding? Who would they have a relationship with that they would want to be at the wedding? Like I don't know. I think it was a bad season, and I think it was a perfectly bad episode to wrap up the season.
And you said it best, Keisha, to me the other day on the phone that if anybody would have been doing a speech or anybody would have been his best man or anybody would have been more proud of, it would have been Sonny.
Yes,
Sonny
Sonny
would have been so proud of Emmett it wouldn't even it would have been a tearjerker for people that watched the show.
Sonny transitioned Emmett to a man, not Darnell. It was Sonny. When Emmett was looking for child care because Tiff had dropped that bit. And why wasn't that boy in the way? EJ. Emmett done had EJ his entire life because Tiff ran away. Why wasn't he in the way? Where's Darnell's other children? Emmett got a bunch of siblings. Where are they? So, I felt like it was still a lot of they started new plots and stories and they're still unfulfilled. I don't understand why they started them. I don't understand why these nobodies um took so much time from this final season. Um so yeah, I'm not any more disappointed, or I'm just glad it's over.
Wayne.
Um, I didn't like the final season, and I think I took that bias a little bit into the last episode when I watched it the first time. When I watched it the second time, the final episode didn't bother me as much because the season was so up and down. There was a couple of things, there's nitpicky things like so it's 24 hours before the wedding, and Emmett asked Trig and Shad to be his groomsmen, and they was able to get the matching suits and all that stuff in less than 24 hours. Like they was able to pull that off.
Judah had the
They
Michaela.
they was able to fix that whole backyard to look like a reception hall and look beautiful in 24 hours. That's what y'all telling me. Is able to do all that 24 hours. Um, Emmett's Spanish baby mama was at the wedding, but his Spanish child wasn't. Where the child was at? The mama was there, but the child wasn't there. Child got to be the same age or maybe a year younger than his son Devontae. So where was he at? So you had Ronnie in the wedding, you had Devontae in the wedding, you had um somebody else was in the wedding, but no EJ and no his child with the Spanish lady, right? Um Kevin said a total of 5 words in the episode. 5 words. Are you ready? You look beautiful. That's what you gave us. So you have this scene with Bakari, Papa, and Jake, and they talking about, oh, you better come back. Da, da, da. Kev wouldn't have been a part of that conversation at all. He just wouldn't have been a part of that conversation. Um, Bakari took shots from a semi-automatic and survived. He survived that. Come on, man. That dude let it go. Like let it go. It wasn't like pow pow. He let that thing go. And then why they put him in that Norbit wig, yo? Like why he look like Norbit without the glasses? Huh? Why? What are we doing? Huh? Uh, Hannibal wife tells Hannibal he gonna leave Hannibal for a deadbeat, for a dude that's in the streets. She just was gonna do that. That's what's gonna happen. Let me ask y'all a question, man. And I love everybody. Let me just say this. So you
Uh-oh.
put so you put the transgender female that we know is a male with the stud that's female that wants to be a man. So they a straight couple. That's what y'all telling me, right? Because they man and woman, they straight. That's what Lena telling me. She giving me that. You had Charles officiating the wedding in a green suit. Like this is what we doing? It's like come on, man. Like what was the whole thing? Keith why Rafi telling Keith he looking for Bakari? And Keith wouldn't be like, yo, Bakari, this dude looking for you? Like he would like
There's
what we
no
doing?
rhyme or reason.
What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? Um the cinematography was amazing. All the scenes of Chicago. The music was amazing. Um, Even the scenes where they showed Keisha getting dressed for the wedding, and they showed the wedding dress with the background of Miss Washington. But let's talk about Keisha for a minute.
Oh God.
Your mother makes it to your wedding and surprise you, and you say to her, "But you weren't here for the birth of my second child." Really? Really, Keisha? You
Not my
whiny,
how you
crying
doing,
bitch.
not my how you doing. I'm glad you made it. And then what is so crazy about that scene, Dwayne, is but you still made it. And then they smiled it off like you already stuck a knife through butter. Like, come on, man. Like you already killed the whole scene, the whole vibe you killed. Like I just me, Dwayne, I don't know if you're done. One of the things that I learned about this season and the last few seasons, I think this series should have ended probably after season 5. I realized, you guys, that Keisha was never happy. And let's talk about. I want to talk about Bakari and why so many people, and I'll say it, so many people. I've seen a lot of posts because of my algorithm. So many people are happy that Bakari didn't get killed. That Bakari had this great ending. Bakari, literally, you guys, nobody bought his book in Chicago. He basically left the idea alone. He gets shot in Chicago. Now he's in Atlanta a year later. Like people are lining up to buy his book. I mean, it's really when you think about cinema, it's no real imagination. Let's talk about Bakari. Like I said, he killed Ronnie. He single-handedly had a hand in the miscarriage of Jake's baby. Why is Bakari, who has done all this stuff, had all these secrets, been messy as hell, why is he such a likable character? And me personally, I think what they did is they tried to make people like Bakari like people liked Kevin, because Kevin left. Bakari was not that liked. Yeah, you looked at Bakari was a young brother who can't get right, but he was never from Chicago. He tell you they grew up in a foster home. I just don't understand the infatuation that a lot of people and some of the writers they geared a lot of stuff towards Bakari, and it just was a bad. I commend Lena. She got us to be able to. Season 1 got us to do what we do because we like season 1 so much. But for day one people, for people who gave this show a chance and been riding with this show, I know personally a lot of people who stopped watching. Personal people that I know. Now, what I see online, I just think people not being honest. I think people have so much glazing going on nowadays that they feel like if you criticize somebody or you say something that you're hating. No, we're critiquing her art. We don't hate Lena Waithe. We have no personal issue against Lena Waithe. But when you talk about the shy and wit, the direction that this show started from an unfortunate murder and then consequences of all the stuff. Kevin even shooting Ronnie. I seen the scene today and I was like, damn, I had forgot about all that. Brandon covering it up for him. From where this show ended, it was very off the book. It did not take us on a ride, a journey, and emotional, and being able to paint a picture. And for me, and I'll let these two speak for themselves when I say this. To me, they lost their way. This show became a joke.
I just want to add on to that. If someone deserved a happy ending, I thought it was Ronnie. And they didn't give that to him. I thought if he was leaving the show, he should have been able to leave off into the sunset. I don't know if Bakari deserved the happy ending.
And
So I just wanted to
then you look at
piggyback off
yeah,
of.
and then you look at the Trig aspect, right? So you mean to tell me Trig gets locked up for a murder that he didn't do, and was concerned that Tiff didn't come see him, but she wrote him, and had an emotional attachment towards Tiff because Fatima had left, right? Okay, whatever. So now all of a sudden he's not digging Tiff no more, where he was so protective that he helped her cover up a murder. So now that's just
And said
gone,
he did it.
and literally said he did it because she had kids. And then you weave Fatima back into his picture, and then I'm gonna talk about a character else that I had a problem with. I have to mention it. And people and Keisha and Dwayne both know I did not like Reg coming back. But they did Reg a disservice. They did Reg a disservice. Reg coming back to go to jail for something he didn't do was some of the most stupidest things that they could have ever wrote. Reg's big thing of coming back was his family and wanting to be the mob, and then he realized that being part of the mob was going to not have him attached to his brothers, and then their mother died. To give Reg that in jail, and she know he didn't do it, regardless of how she felt about him, is crazy. And then you don't even show her the last episode with her son. Like it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. And I know that we looked at the credits. We know that Lena literally wrote episode 10. And I'm going to say it again. Episode 10 was about them having a celebration for the season that they had. It had nothing to do with giving the. This whole season had nothing to do with giving the audience anything. And Dwayne called it when he said when Nook got killed, he said they have nothing else to write. He said they killed him off the show too early. And you could see that. I would have felt better if they'd have just killed Nook and then be like,
What
well, who killed him? And they just went off the show.
it also bothered me that Keisha was so mad at Tiff. Tiff was still the maid of honor. Like that felt very rushed. That you know she immediately forgave her. No,
It wasn't real. Even if she was upset, like you said, and didn't want her to have the wedding at that house, you still let her be a maid of honor? That doesn't make sense.
it was rushed.
Then Emmett and Keisha expanded. They franchised the restaurant. Houston, Atlanta, and Vegas, right? Where's Dom?
She should have been at the wedding. That's his business partner.
Then you had the brat coming out there like an oversized boy. And the brat is one of the most prettiest women, regardless of her sexual preference and orientation. The brat is one of the most prettiest women in Hollywood, or what we call black celebrity. The brat was looking crazy. Why you got the brat dressed like that? It just was bad. It was a bad episode. It put a cherry on a bad ending to a series that honestly started out very good. Very
Yeah,
good.
like for me, I didn't like I said, the episode itself didn't bother me. It didn't. I mean, they made it a celebration, and that's what they wanted to do. With the wedding and stuff. It just that's why they brought back Ronnie Friends. That's why they brought back, you know, Emmett's baby mothers being there, both being at the wedding.
They
Like,
even
oh,
brought back their Kevin and Keisha's aunt
yep.
on the father's side who went off
Hmm.
on the mother because she done cheated on everybody she been with.
Right. So I mean, so that's what it was. It's like, Lena told everybody that wasn't killed off. Y'all all come back. Y'all was part of this history. And it was a good trip down memory lane. Like I said, the only thing that really, really bothered me was it wasn't realistic Bakari surviving. It wasn't like he was shot by like a nine or something. Like, yo, this dude really unloaded on him. Like he took bullets from a big gun, and I don't understand the Norbit wig.
The,
I don't
the Norbit
understand
wig,
that. So
and
it's just it's my bad. I just want to get
ugh,
this out too. Um, I would say that my best scene in this last episode from an emotional standpoint was when Trig and Jake went to see Reg in jail. Like I thought that was very well acted by Barton and by Luke James and by Michael P. Epps. I thought they did a very good acting job. in that scene. I thought it was a good scene. But like Reg in jail reading the book and with a smile on his face, that was a little bit of a stretch. But
That's
hey,
his
man,
little homie.
yeah, shout out to Lena, man, because African American show, 8 years. There's not a lot of people that get that many years on cable, So it's a lot to celebrate, man. But the final season left me feeling a void, but I don't want to go in with all my negativity from the final season and kill the series finale. I don't want to straight kill it because there was some good parts about it.
Keisha, any more thoughts?
No, I mean, that's the emotional component
Hmm.
that I feel like they were riding on as they served us mess.
Yeah,
If you
it's
just focus on the emotional component, like there were things that would make you tear up or feel away or whatever, because you've been watching this show for 8 years. So
Yeah,
yeah,
when they showed, like, when Keisha was about to come down the aisle and they showed the whole genesis of their relationship from her saying, "What's your name, girl?" to
yeah.
where they are present time. That was kind of dope. Um, the dancing, all that stuff. I think they spent too much time with pictures. I mean, it was kind of dope, but I think, like, how do you not have Dre say something? She was such an integral part of
Of
both
their
their lives.
family. Yeah.
Yeah, both their lives. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was there for all of it. Like, even you
Well,
could have had a quick,
they only had Rashad and Trigg say something, which
right.
I thought was weird.
And then you could have had a situation where, you know, Tracy and Nina would be like, oh, Jada would be so happy right now, that they got to this point. Like, I ain't saying you got to
Tracy
go
didn't
on
say
and on and
nothing
on.
either. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm not saying you got to go on and on and on. There was one scene that I still don't know how I feel about it. I guess it was dope, but like when Emmett and Tiff had their conversation at the table, and he let Tiff know he loved her, stuff like that. I mean,
Hmm.
I guess it was wrapping them up too. They all a family. The three of them are intertwined together, and so that was the one thing also where Keisha was like, she kept harping on Ronnie going to grow up without a father, but Emmett is his father. Like, I know his biological ain't gonna be there, but you ain't thinking about the fact that Nook took Rob Jr.'s father.
Right.
And Emmett had already expressed that to you. And then when Tiff said it to you, it was like you heard it for the first time. And she was like, I'm sorry he did that. Like, they really made me not like Keisha this season. They really made. But I'm telling you, man, all three of these brothers able to get these suits for the wedding in 24 hours. I mean, I know it's just TV, but I'm like, yo, come on, let's be realistic. And why would Fatima and the other transgender be at the wedding? That's Vic people. What is her connection to Keisha or Emmett?
There is none.
You know?
And why
there's
would the girl be there that's going with Smitty?
Yeah.
yeah. Even so much you guys had talked about it before. Why was she even at Keisha's party and all that stuff? Because there wasn't no connection. But one thing Dwayne brought up and I wanted to say was really when you think about it, and we had said it a couple seasons ago before she left, the character that really had an impact on the show from I guess a man's point of view, but it's a woman, would have been Dre. When you think about it, yeah, Dre used to give Emmett the business on being a man and manning up. because, like Dwayne said, Darnell actually used to mess with Dre as well. So she was intertwined. So I agree with y'all. I just think that really, from a consumer standpoint, and I always try to say that we're consumers, that the show did us a disservice by not allowing these people to talk. You should have, first of all, like Keisha said the other day, they should have had this wedding probably around episode 7. And then each episode, each character just has that moment, give the fans the moment of closure on a series. I think that having this fairy tale ending and showing everybody a year later, it shows that it was rushed. It shows that it was forced. It left a lot there. And then you have fans that literally are saying it's a spinoff. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I've watched a lot of shows in my life and spinoffs. The Shy don't need a spinoff. Because what are you going to spin off from? You have no character, strong enough characters that you're going to do a spinoff. You basically made this show not only about Emmett, but you made it about Keisha. So if it has nothing to do with Keisha and Emmett, it's no need for a spinoff. Bakari's not a strong enough actor for a spinoff. He's just finding his way. So I just think that they did so much that they could have done for the consumers of their product that they just cheated. I feel cheated. Not that it's over because I'm happy it's over, which is ironic, but they cheated their base. They really did. Reg being in jail is crazy when you think about it. Y'all brought him all the way back last season for him to go to jail. And the craziest thing about the Shy is one thing happens that triggers events. Jason getting killed, Coogie getting a chain, Coogie getting killed. So when you look at the Shy throughout the years, it was an event that happened, and everything around that event triggered another event that happened. So they get to this, and it's like, y'all gonna push the show up a year and just leave it at that? It doesn't make much sense. But look, we're gonna do two ratings: a rating for the season and a rating for the series. We're gonna do three: show, season, series. I'll go first. For the show, for episode 10, I'm giving it a 3. Um, I just think it was bad. Think it, I just didn't like it. For the season, I'm gonna give it a 3. I think it was a bad season. I think that they rushed the season. I think they should have, they might have would have ended the show. It felt like, we got to go ahead. We got it from studios. We just gonna hurry up and knock this out. That's the way I felt they approached it. I felt the actors even approached it that way too, because it was through all those episodes. It was more of a celebration and a way of patting yourself on the back, which is totally fine. But you still cheated your audience. For the series, in my first assessment was the first 4 seasons of The Shy was awesome. Awesome. Knocked it out the park. Was really had people talking, really just ingrained in this coming of age story of Chicago kids. Even with the mishap of the actor Jason Mitchell having to leave, the girl. It had to deal with a lot of things on the fly, and I think that Lena Waithe weathered the storm. And then when you think about Ronnie, having him leaving, I thought that Lena Waithe weathered the storm as well with that. But honestly, I'm gonna give the series in totality, all 8 seasons. I'm gonna give it a 6. I don't think it's what people say is a classic. I don't think people is gonna be busting it down to say I'm gonna watch The Shy all over again. I think that we'll see pictures, we'll see these actors grow, and we may say, "Oh, I remember that person from The Shy," but other than that, I just don't see it like that. So,
When did we
6.
lose Dwayne?
He's still there. He just dropped out for a second, but he's
Oh,
still.
Now I'm here. Y'all go ahead.
So
I'll
it's a
go last.
6, 3, and 3 for me, Keisha and Wayne.
Oh, for the episode, I would give it a 4. For the season, for the whole season 8, this was season 8, right?
Hmm.
I would probably give it a 2. And for the series, I would probably give it a 4.5.
Any overall thoughts?
I mean, it's Brandon, then it's post Brandon, and then it's post Ronnie. And I wasn't a fan of the kidnapping of Keisha that season. But it did keep you into it. But after Ronnie died, I just felt like it was just moments of a good season. But we haven't had a good season. We haven't had a good season the last 3 or 4.
Wayne.
Yeah, though I had some things I didn't like about the finale. I get a finale an 8. I really do. I thought the wedding scene and everything and the overall celebration, it was a celebration of 8 years. And I thought, other than some of the nitpicky things and the ending with Bakari, I thought it was done. I would give it an 8. For the season itself, I would give it a 2. And overall for the series, I'll give it an 8 because they gave you 5 great. When you're talking about 8 seasons, I feel like they gave you 5 great seasons out of those 8. So, with that being said, I can't give it less than a 5 because they gave us season 1 through 4 was bangers. Season 5 was good. You know what I'm saying? 6, 7, 8 wasn't great, but when you look at the whole thing, and I think time will, for most people, I'm not just saying us that have reviewed this show, I think time will be kind to the shy. And I think as years go past, people will look back on the shy and be like, man, what an accomplishment, man. They got 8 years, mainly African American cast on a network like Showtime.
In the
So,
midst of COVID too. Got to put that.
so I don't want just this last season and maybe last year's episode, like season 7, to throw shade on what was for a good 4 or 5 year stretch. Really good TV.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask y'all this, a bonus thought, right? I'm gonna name my. What is your five? Just give me five. Five characters. They could be. They could have been unalived, not on the show. Five personalities that you really liked on the show. I'll go first. I thought Ronnie was authentic. I loved the role that Ronnie played. The actor who played Ronnie. I thought Jason Mitchell, man. I thought Jason Mitchell really did Brandon well. Of course, Emmett. I thought Emmett, and watching his growth in as an actor, him growing up, and Alex Hibbert who plays Kevin. I really liked him, and I really liked Tiff. I thought that Tiff would be my fifth most favorite person on the show. Um, just thinking about like when both of y'all were talking, this show came a long way when you think about it with certain actors and personalities. But what would be your five, Keisha?
I mean, I like Jake, Papa, and Kevin. Um, I liked Ronnie's grandmother. Um, and I like Duda
Hmm.
and Reg. I liked Reg. I liked the Reg when he was originally on the show. I didn't like this Reg.
Yeah, for me, I can't
Wayne?
narrow it down to 5. Um, I think there was a lot of very good characters through the 8 seasons. I think you got to start with the four. You know, Jake, Papa, Kevin, and Emmett. But there were so many other good characters, in my opinion, along the way that I wouldn't want to rate them or say there's a top five or a Mount Rushmore. I mean, because
I forgot Sunny. I like Sunny
that's what I'm
too.
saying. It's just for me, it's too many to limit it to five. Because if you look at it, Dre was a very strong character up until it was time for her to go. You know what I'm saying? So, first couple of seasons, the cop was dope. The Spanish cop, he was dope. You know, so yeah, for me, I can't just signify it to five.
Yeah. So, one of the things that we always said, definitely in the last few years, was that how season one was the birth of what we started doing after the season one. So I'm gonna say that I do appreciate the show. I do appreciate what it gave us. It allowed us to do what we do because it made us have conversations, and it's interesting that we will not be doing the shy anymore. But I do have envision on doing fight night, which I was doing some research on. Again, I'm looking forward to fight night dropping next on Friday as well. So tomorrow we'll hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll do Raising Canaan review. Um, I don't have no final thoughts. Just just appreciative of the shot. I will see. We'll see. Um, like Dwayne said, and at the end of the day, what Lena Waithe was able to do, it's not always as hard as I am on her and her vision. It's a little bit more than just her involved. You're dealing with studios. You're dealing with money, other people's money. You're dealing with personalities. So even though it may be your vision, it may not come out the way that you wanted to come out. Definitely when she's originally from Chicago, trying to represent the city you're from, because you want to paint a picture that's authentic, but you may not want to be too as show too much or show less. I used to get on the shy not having talking about the uh, the house music scene. I thought that would have been a good angle. I used to be very picky when it came to this show, because to me it gave it because of the name The Shy. I felt as though it needed to give the outside people a real good glimpse of the beautiful city. Um, with that, no final thoughts, you guys?
No,
None way?
Nah, I mean, just 8 years, like that says a lot. So I'll leave it at that. That they got 8 seasons in, and it's a lot of people that don't see eight. So you got to tip your hat to them on that.
Yep. With that, till next time, remember the best way to support what we do is to like, share,
have
and
a good
subscribe.
night.
Have a great night.